Am I the asshole for screaming at and banning my SIL and niece from my home after they destroyed my houseplants? Edit. Please stop sending me chat messages. I cannot keep up with all of the stuff I'm seeing. Yes, even if you're about to say, I know you said don't message me, but years ago I got really into houseplants and started to collect them. Over the years I've had up to 70, but whittled my collection down to about 35. Just the ones I really love. My niece Jenny, 14F, has developed an interest in plants and will come over and we will talk about them, and she helps with propagation and repotting. I had to go out of town for 2 weeks to take care of some work stuff, so I asked SIL and Jenny if they could plant sit for me. I told Jenny I would pay but also give her a few cuttings as a trade-off. They agreed, and when they came over I gave a tour and explained the care needed, and also showed off a few prized plants. SIL asked how much a few of them ran me and I did share. This didn't seem weird because the family knows and I've gotten some plants as gifts. Well, I returned from my trip and was horrified. They watered and gave the right amount of light, but they also decided to give a lot of my plants haircuts. Big ones. My prized Cebu blue pothos mother plant was destroyed. The climbing one too. My Manjula pothos had been done the same. My golden that I trained up my stairwell. My string of pearls, hearts, and ruby necklace all destroyed. My silver-striped philodendron. The worst was that my pink princess philo had been reduced to 2 leaves. And my albo monstera is down to 3. I don't even think they got nodes necessarily. These plants are expensive and prized. I basically broke down, and when they came to meet me to give back my key I screamed and screamed at them. Jenny started crying, saying I said I would give her cuttings, so she thought it was okay. I screamed at her to go home and get what she stole from me and bring it back now, because she knew I didn't mean she could destroy my fucking plants. SIL got between us and said, what's done is done. I am sorry, I don't know why my one edit is gone. And half the original post. Please read my comments. I said no way, you're returning everything. Jenny said, Mom already sold most of them on Marketplace. I lost it and just screamed and screamed at them until Jenny was crying and her mom got in my face and told me I was having a tantrum over plants. I told her to get the fuck out of my house and don't ever come anywhere near me or my home again. I called my brother, SIL husband, and he was shocked and said they told him I said it was all okay. He brought me the stuff she hadn't sold yet and apologized. I told him I never ever want either of them in the same room as me again. They're horrible, awful, irredeemable people, and that I hope they both burn in hell where they belong. He told me he gets that I'm upset, but that I'm taking it too far and that family means not holding grudges. I told him to leave, and I cried for the rest of the day. I am posting because I need to know if my edict is over the top and if I'm overreacting. So am I the asshole for telling them that they are no longer welcome in my home and not even wanting them in the same room? Not the asshole, this wasn't a misunderstanding. Your SIL knew exactly what she was doing and making a profit of it. I'm surprised your brother didn't realize something was amiss. Not the asshole. The part about being sold already, this was planned. This was about money. A 14-year-old knows better than to steal someone's hard work and sell it. As a plant lover myself, I am so sorry this happened to you. It must have been devastating. He told me he gets that I'm upset, but that I'm taking it too far and that family means not holding grudges. Yeah, well, family means we don't deliberately rob each other, either, but here we are. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Some of those plants can bring in several $100s. I have lots of plants as well, most were under $30. If anyone cut them up I would freak out. I have put so much care and time into them that it would feel disrespectful. It's a form of stealing. Also, I understand my plants and if, when they are ready to propagate, and how to do so without causing issues to them. I would kick anyone out who messed with my plants. I would never let them back in. Not the asshole. Honestly, I would take them to small claims court just to make things a hassle and demand all the money made from the cuttings plus the cost for new plants. For people saying she went too far, these thieves made thousands of dollars by stealing OP's plants. Do people know how expensive pink princess or albo philodendron is? If these people took multiple leaves then sold them, they essentially made a lot of money by destroying her plants. Would people feel the same way if it was jewelry or a car? Did anyone else gasp to read they'd been sold on Marketplace? I did not see that coming. And not the asshole. I'm sorry, Op. Wow, not the asshole at all. They deliberately waited for you to be gone so they could steal from you. It wasn't even for themselves, it was for profit. I hope you made them give you the money they received? It obviously doesn't help, but at least they're not profiting from your loss. What on earth got into your niece to do such a thing with her mother if she was so interested in your hobby? I feel your pain up. Am I the asshole for asking the bride if my 3-yo can wear white to a wedding? I'm really torn by this. My brother, 31, is about to be married. I, 33 am one of the groomsmen. My wife had informed me that our daughter, 3, will be wearing a white dress to the wedding. I wasn't sure if this was appropriate as I thought it was mainly brides and flower girls would wear white. My wife didn't care if any little girls wore white at our own wedding, and others that she knows say they don't care. My daughter will be the only child attending amongst about 80-ish guests, as she is the only grandchild in either family. There are no flower girls or page boys participating in the wedding. I try to be considerate as possible, as obviously it's not my wedding, so I asked my brother whether there's an issue with it. And he says it will be. White is strictly for the bride, which I respect. Her wedding, her rules. And I don't want any dramas. Now my wife is calling me out on it, calling me all sorts of names. Saying that I should have stood up for my daughter. Saying I should have kept my mouth shut and not mentioned anything and just rocked up with her wearing her white dress. She wants the bride and groom to pay for a new dress, which was a hand-me-down from the beginning. I am fine to go and get another dress, but now it seems she won't back down out of principle. I feel I did the right thing. But my wife's reaction makes it seem like it wasn't. Am I the asshole for checking with the bride and groom? Not the asshole. The fact your wife is this upset over this is really weird. The white is for the bride and any other wedding party members, not for the toddler attending who, let's be real, is gonna receive a lot of attention no matter what she wears. Plus white on a toddler never ends well anyway, just choose another color. I'm sure there are lots of bright yellow dresses that'd be just as cute. Not the asshole. Your wife needs to respect the couple. 3-yo will be happy with any color. I mean, to spare a fight, put her in any other color. There is so many to choose from. Personally, I think it would be rude. The age difference doesn't matter here. It's the principle. It is very easy to get a different dress. Your wife deciding she would have just rocked up, when clearly the couple don't want your daughter wearing white, is just rude. You did the right thing in asking op. And now you've got your answer. Borrow a dress. Go spend $5 at a thrift store. You are not the asshole. Not the asshole. It sounds like your wife is looking to use your daughter to get attention at your brother and SIL's event. Your wife needs to stop being immature and selfish. There are innumerable beautiful dresses for little girls that aren't white, cream, ivory, or black. I suggest you do a daddy-daughter shopping trip where you take your daughter to help her pick out a big girl dress for uncle and auntie's special day. Not the asshole. Nobody, woman or man or child, should show up to a wedding in white unless they are the bride. 2. Asked to wear white by the wedding party, or 3. The Glad man, from those old adverts for Glad kitchen bags. You were right to check with your brother, and your wife should accept their preference. You don't need your wife's permission to go buy a dress yourself for your little girl. Sounds like your wife is creating drama for no reason. As you have said, the dress is a hand-down, which there is nothing wrong with, but you have also stated you are financially stable, so nothing stopping you from going to the shop and treating your little princess to a new, thrifted dress. Grin. Am I the asshole for going against my aunt's rules while babysitting my cousins? I, 18F, have 2 cousins, 12M and 5F, that live with my aunt, 34F. My aunt is a self-proclaimed hippie. She doesn't believe in modern medicine, vaccines, and even denied my cousin needed glasses despite his complaints over the years. She, however, does believe that everything we eat should be naturally grown, fat-free and organic. This will be important later on. Half a year ago my aunt lost her job due to her refusing to get the vaccine and moved in with us. I was put in charge of taking care of my cousins while she job hunts, which I don't mind doing since they are very well behaved. When I started taking care of them, my aunt sat me down in front of a long list of what they cannot eat, which said, no fat, no spices, no sugar, no carbs, no dairy, among many other requests I found ridiculous. I should state this. Both of my cousins are skinny to the point some would consider them malnourished, so the fact that they had to diet on top of that was ridiculous. At first I obeyed her rules, they're her kids, not mine after all. But after a while I started noticing how the diet affected the kids. They never had enough energy to do anything, didn't want to run or play like most kids their age, and just looked miserable in general. It was then that I decided to start putting forbidden food in their meals. After a while of me doing so, they both gained some healthy weight and began playing like most kids their age. My aunt didn't notice anything, so I got bold and took my cousin to the optometrist to get his eyesight checked. Turns out he was 1.25 on both eyes. I bought him glasses and told him to wear them whenever my aunt wasn't around, and he thanked me later saying he can finally see the chalkboard at school. Last week we were playing at a park and I gave my youngest cousin some mini Oreos to share with her friends on the playground. I later heard crying only to see my aunt dragging the 5Y0 towards my direction. Apparently she was walking by the park when she saw her eating the Oreos. Then she noticed the 12Y0 wearing glasses and absolutely lost it on me, berating me on how I could go behind her back and feed her children trash food and cripple them by making them wear unnecessary things, glasses. She confiscated the glasses and now moved temporarily to my other aunt's house while I'm grounded till further notice. My grandma is the only one supporting me on this issue, saying that my aunt borderline abused those kids by depriving them of food and medical assistance and that I did the right thing by trying to put a stop to it. My friends are conflicted. Some say it's not my place to dictate how others raise their children, and some say they would have done the same. Am I the asshole? Important note: the dad walked out 4 years ago after he had enough of my aunt and she refuses to let him see the kids. Edit. Wow, I didn't expect this to blow up so quickly. Thank you all for your advice on the matter. I'm currently trying to get in contact with my cousin's father and inform him of the situation. If I fail to do so, I will probably try and reach out to my aunt one last time. I'm trying to take the most peaceful route since I don't want my cousins to go through the process of CPS investigation. But if neither of those things work and nothing changes, I will be definitely contacting CPS. Does anyone know how much evidence I need to make a case? The kids have been in a healthy weight range ever since I started feeding them, so I don't think they will show any signs of malnourishment in an investigation. Also, is it true they don't take the kids away from the parent right away? I'm very scared they might end up in the care system upon report, and I don't want to put them in this situation. Update. I think we found the dad. You guys are insane. It's honestly scary how fast the internet works and how accessible our digital footprint is. This feels surreal. I didn't think I would be able to find him so quickly. Thank you so much for reaching out in the massages and recommending the right places to check for him. I don't think I would have figured it out without you all. Since I couldn't get a hold of his phone number, I've sent him and who I presume to be his new wife an email explaining the situation and how I found them. I also sent some old pictures of him and I alongside my phone number asking for him to call me when possible. I'll keep you updated on how it goes and if he answers. I really hope I massaged the right guy and he replies, "Not the asshole. You are doing the right thing by those kids honestly. If this continues, YWBTA if you don't get child services involved. This is abuse and neglect. Not the asshole. Borderline? This is abuse. Neglect is abuse, and if she went that long before even noticing her kid was wearing glasses. Not the asshole. Your aunt is neglecting those children. You need to call social services. Not the asshole. I would report it to CPS and have the kids go tell a school counselor about what's going on. Not the asshole. I do not know why you are grounded. Call Child Protective Services and report your aunt. These kids need someone to be on their side. Not the asshole. Contact your cousin's school. Their teacher should have seen the improve with the glasses. If you have the paper from the doctor, bring a copy to them. Most teacher have mandatory report to Child Protective Service. And it is more probable that they would do something if it is the school calling them. Not the asshole. Your aunt is neglecting those kids for her moral high ground. She even removed her own child's accessibility tools. That is straight up abusive. This isn't a Reddit issue. Denying medical care is a CPS issue. Your cousin needs their glasses. Your aunt may love her children, but it's possible to love someone to death. Please report them, and please talk about this with a trusted adult outside your family so you're also receiving support. Am I the asshole for not letting my sister and nephew into my car? My sister, 34F, and nephew, 7M, came from Utah to Cali to visit me and my BF. They said they wanted to see some national parks, so we drove to Death Valley and was going to do some hiking. We hiked for a few hours and my nephew was exploring around. I wasn't watching him until he came over and showed my sister a few rocks. I went to see what he found, and he found some fossils with preserved clams-looking things inside. I told him it has illegal to remove fossils from the park and told him to put it back where he found them. He started to get upset, saying he found them so he should be able to keep them. She kept saying he was into fossils and wanted to keep them as souvenirs. My sister defended him saying it wasn't a big deal and no one would find out, and I thought it was insane. She wouldn't correct him, but my sister always babied my nephew because he's the only child that survived from 4 pregnancies. I told her he has to put it back or we aren't leaving, and she got angry and started arguing that it wasn't a big deal. We got back to the car and I got in and locked the doors, telling my nephew we are staying here until he puts things back. He started crying and my sister hugged him and tried to console him. My sister then kicked my car repeatedly and yelled and screamed at me through the car. After 30 minutes he gave up and put the fossils back on the ground. I let them in and my sister spent the rest of the car ride saying I don't have kids so I don't understand, and how a few missing rocks wouldn't make any difference, so I was overreacting. Good for you. If everyone took fossils then there would be none for others to see. It is also a citable offense and could result in jail time depending on where they were taken from. A huge not the asshole and a big thank you from park rangers around the world. Not the asshole. I told him it has illegal to remove fossils from the park and told him to put it back where he found them. He started to get upset saying he found them so he should be able to keep them. It's illegal. He must be made to understand that. I want to drink and drive, and because I want that I should be able to do that. No. It's illegal. And for good reasons. Not the asshole if every spoiled child or entitled adult that visits a national park takes a few rocks, or whatever the park is known for, it will have a serious ecological impact. That is why there are actual laws about not removing things from national parks. Your sister and her son are not above the law. They are not more special or deserving than any other visitor to the park. Also, your sister's temper tantrum sounds ridiculous. She should be embarrassed. I hope you get a lot of responses and that you send her a link to this post so she can see just how absurd her behavior was. There is a reason people aren't allowed to take things from parks. Eventually there will be nothing left if every parent goes, well, my Timmy can do it. They had this issue with rocks in Hawaii. It ruins it for everyone else and destroys the landscape. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, but I would have driven off as soon as she kicked the car, let alone several kicks. Not the asshole. Thank you for protecting our national parks. Your sister needs to learn a thing or two about parenting. Okay, it's a huge stretch, but to make a point. Her saying, he is into fossils so it's okay, is pretty much the same as a grown man saying he is into having sex with teenagers, so it's okay. Nope, both are illegal. Not the asshole. Edit. Typos and a missing part. Not the asshole, and I commend you for your restraint. The first time she kicked my car I would have left them there.